Now look at this.
What's up about penguins? Today we're going to do topic 1.2, which is on the elements of life, so basically macromolecules. So what are the four macromolecules? So we have proteins, we have nucleic acids, carbohydrates, and lipids. Carbohydrates are going to be your sugars. And so within a carbohydrate, we're going to find carbons, hydrogens, and oxygens. And you'll traditionally find them in a 1 to 2 to 1 ratio of 1 carbon to 2 hydrogen to 1 oxygen. There's two main types of carbohydrates. There's structural carbohydrates like cellulose or chitin, and then there's storage carbohydrates like glycogen and starch. So in terms of proteins are going to be made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and sometimes sulfur. This is an amino acid. So amino acids make up our protein. So we have like a long chain of amino acids that make up a polypeptide. And so there's different functional groups in it. There's an amino group, and there's also the carboxyl group. You're going to notice there's this thing called an R group. That R group is going to be variable. It means that between the 20 different amino acids, this can be different things. So depending on what that R group is going to determine whether the amino acid is going to be nonpolar, polar, or electrically charged. If it's nonpolar, it means that the protein is going to fold with that R group facing inward to the interior of the protein. If it's polar or charged, it's going to face outward or toward the exterior of the protein. This is because of the fact that nonpolar items are hydrophobic or water-fearing, while polar or electrically charged are going to be hydrophilic or water-loving. Proteins have a lot of different functions within our bodies. So one of the big things we talk about is enzymes. So proteins will act as an enzyme and they will speed up a chemical reaction. We also see that it can work as motor proteins, so for transport. So looking at actin and myosin being the motor protein that pulls and contracts. We're also going to find that it's important for transportation. So bringing oxygen around your body with hemoglobin, or transportation across the membrane, like a channel, or receiving a signal as a receptor. So there's a ton of different functions that our proteins have in our bodies. Nucleic acids are going to have carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and phosphorus. Nucleic acids are going to be made up of things called nucleotides. Nucleotides have a phosphate group, a pentose sugar, so it's either deoxyribose or ribose, and a nitrogenous base, so adenine, thymine, uracil, cytosine, and guanine. Nucleic acids are like DNA and RNA, and they house your genetic material in your cells. So we have three different types of lipids. There could be steroids, phospholipids, or fats. Thinking about these, you're going to have the same kind of elements we've seen before: carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. They will sometimes have phosphorus, specifically in phospholipids. They will be where you find phosphate. Big thing about lipids is that they're nonpolar, so they're going to be hydrophobic. The plan is for me to do this for all the topics, so if you want to be able to follow along, press the follow button, and remember, AP Bio Penguins, just success. Bye, y'all.